I accidentally spent 5 years in modern isolation. I'm just sat here by myself in the corner. So what is modern isolation and how am I gonna fix it? If you wear headphones every time you leave the house, if you spend most of your time alone, eyes glued to a screen, if your main source of connection is a phone, then maybe you're living in modern isolation too. I remember when leaving the house to be around people was normal. And there was a responsibility to be somewhere and to be someone. But now it just feels like it was all a dream. When I first heard about COVID, I was laying in bed watching a YouTube video. I shrugged it off like it was no big deal. And we all know what happened after that. Lockdown. This was the start of my decline in connection and purpose. And I think this story sums it up perfectly. If you place a frog in boiling water, it will jump out immediately. But if you place it in cold water and gradually increase the temperature, it won't notice until it's too late. I'm the frog. And lockdown was the cold water. Suddenly there was no expectations to be anywhere, so I just entertained myself with TV, games and social media. But too much comfort comes at a cost. How did you feel when lockdown finished and you was able to go out again? Because for me, I was excited to go out. I was happy to be out and go clubbing with my friends, go to bars and be around people. But when I actually got there, it just felt awkward. It felt really weird. I felt uncomfortable. I used to go out and want to mess around with strangers, make up random stories, confuse people. And then when I went out this time, all of that excitement and desire to meet new people were just replaced with overthinking and doubt. And yeah, it was just very uncomfortable. So I just did the only thing that I knew how to do at that moment, which is just continue drinking and avoid that discomfort through a substance. And once the night was over, I could go home and retreat to using screens again and being alone and just continue to isolate myself. I spent years working from home, just going through the motions. I started to think, is this really the life I want to live? It got so bad, just the idea of going 5 minutes up the road to the shops felt like the longest thing in the world, and that's when I knew something needed to change. So for the first time ever, I set goals and created trackers to keep myself accountable. I fell in love with the gym and started getting stronger. I realised there was books that could teach you about anything you was interested in. But it went too far and I become obsessed with growth. My day was so optimised for learning new information and growing and trying to get better. It meant that I was constantly putting in information and not giving my brain a chance to actually process what I was learning. And I'm grateful for all the work I put in to learn new things and to grow, getting into good habits, but it was also used as a distraction to actually avoid what I was really afraid of, which was going out and making connections. I wasn't happy with certain things in life and I was aware of certain insecurities, and rather than actually going out and facing them, I would learn about how to be better at them, so it would give me the illusion that I was actually getting better at it or helping myself. But at the end of the day, you don't actually change unless you go out in the real world and do something about it. It's all well and good learning theory about how to get better at things. Again, I've learned so much. I do think it's helped me and I am a better person for it. But until I actually go out into the world and start using what I've learned, I'm no different. I'm still avoiding my problems. More and more years went past, and although I'd learned a lot, my life just felt empty. I felt disconnected from the people around me and the things I once loved. I was stuck living in a cycle that made me unhappy. So I packed up my things and headed to the other side of the world alone. When I first went travelling, I was pushing myself up my comfort zone, staying in hostels for months, and it wasn't something I originally thought I'd enjoy. And to begin with, I did, but it wasn't long until I realised that I just don't feel like I fit in with anyone that I meet, and old patterns just started to come back. So instead of continuing to put myself out my comfort zone and meet people, I would just resort to going somewhere by myself and going on my phone and just repeating those same bad habits that I was so used to doing before. Just because you go traveling, it doesn't mean all your problems that you had back home will disappear. It will be a distraction and give you new opportunities to learn and grow, but the things that you struggle with back home, they'll follow you. In the 6 months I've been traveling, I've spent almost all of it alone. And there are parts of it that I really, really enjoy. As much as being alone is, you're missing out on connection and things like that, I love it. Parts of me absolutely love it. There's obviously moments where I feel like I'm alone and lonely and I'm more notice of it, but you have complete freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want. Right now I'm sat here completely at peace. I have no one disturbing me, no one to entertain, no one to that I feel almost responsible for. And I think that's part of the insecurity, is when I'm with some people I feel responsible for maintaining certain relationships or interactions, but when you're alone you're just peaceful, you have nothing to worry about. And that is the flip side of it. When you then choose to spend time with people, you have to sacrifice that. You have to make sacrifices to be with people. You have to go along with what other people want to do. And part of me always, where I used to be a bunch of a people pleaser, wants to make sure other people are okay, and I'll put other people's needs before my own, so I can naturally be more comfortable and happier when there's no one around. Welcoming people into my life after so many years alone feels complicated, but by avoiding my problems by using screens, I've tricked myself into thinking I'm living when I'm actually just watching. I'm becoming more and more aware how big of a problem this is. Literally spend my nights just looking at this screen and distracting myself, giving myself the illusion that I'm actually doing something. Because when I'm not using it, it's boring. You're just sat there doing nothing, and you have to confront either the boredom or you have to actually take action and go and do something. And that's where the fear kicks in. I just use this instead to escape that discomfort. And if you use it until late at night, you don't want to put it down before bed. Your brain's then racing before you go to bed. Your sleep quality is worse, and you wake up, dopamine is depleted, and you have no drive to want to do anything. And just repeat that cycle every single day. Such a problem. Everyone has one of these. It has access to absolutely everything at the tip of our fingers all the time. People worry about AI taking over and technology taking over, but for me, technology already has taken over. We spend so much time looking at screens. All of our time is looking at a screen. You're either on your phone, or you're looking at your TV, or you're looking at your computer. But how has technology not already taken over? Even though I spend so much time by myself, I'm not the only one living like this. In 2025, 1 in 6 people are affected by loneliness worldwide. And I see thousands of videos of people that are stuck and emotionally numb. This is the start of me escaping isolation. I'm fed up of staying on my own and shying away from the things I'm afraid of, and approaching people and making connections. So the challenges I'm doing moving forwards, I've already done some, all about living with screens in moderation rather than being on screens to live my life. I want to use screens as a tool to get what I want, and I think stepping away from screens will help regulate my brain, my nervous system, allow me to process emotions and have more dopamine and drive to seek connection. If I have to sit with the boredom, eventually I'll want to do something. So yeah, this is the start of escaping isolation. Look out for some of the challenges I've got coming up. My heart goes out to everyone else who's isolated, lonely and doesn't know what to do. So I hope I can sort of give you some kind of motivation, inspiration, whatever, to see that you can go from someone who's got no idea what they're doing, who's alone, and just by pushing through discomfort gives you opportunities to have connections and change your life. So yeah, I've got loads looking forward to, and yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. So yeah, let's go.